Hey friends! My name is Desiree, aka Mama Friendly. I do all sorts of videos on my channel, cooking videos, vlogs, hauls, all sorts of Disney content, a little bit of everything. So if any of that sounds like fun to you, I hope you'll subscribe and join me on my YouTube adventure. Today I wanted to share a recipe that you could use all spring or summer long, but I wanted to share it today specifically so that you'd have it ready to go for Easter. Now, Easter to me kind of screams potluck, and it also kind of feels like the first big springtime celebration where you're expected to gather up with your friends and family. And so I think that the occasion calls for a potluck type dish. Also, when I think of Easter, I kind of can't help but think of eggs. Deviled eggs specifically. And so I thought, what would be a great dish to bring to a springtime, summertime, picnic maybe type vibe? Pasta salad. But maybe I could throw some Easter twist in there by making it a deviled egg pasta salad. Now, in case you're new here, hi, welcome. Also, I think you should know that everything I cook and eat is gluten and dairy free. I also do my best generally to avoid soy, and so all of my recipes on my channel are going to be gluten and dairy free. Most of them are going to be soy free. If I'm not using a soy free ingredient, I will let you know so that you can make any adjustments necessary. But this particular recipe is going to be gluten, dairy, and soy free. And if you're none of these things, then that's fine too. Go ahead and substitute your favorite pasta. It doesn't have to be gluten-free, etc., etc. I'm giving you the framework for the dish. You go ahead and make it your own to suit your family's tastes. This is a great recipe to make ahead as well. So maybe you're in charge of the gathering this year and there's going to be a lot on your plate, a lot to do, decorating, etc. This is a fantastic thing to prepare because you can do it the night before. Let it chill in the fridge literally until you need it the next day and you're good to go. So I think I've set you up sufficiently. Let's go ahead and get cooking, shall we? Alright my pals, I'm beginning by sharing, of course, the ingredients that we're going to need for our deviled egg pasta salad. First off, we need 6 hard-boiled eggs. These are already hard-boiled. The way that I do that is I bring a pot of water to boil, and once we're at boiling, I'll put the eggs in, and for hard-boiled, I'll give them 10 minutes. Once those 10 minutes are up, I'll drain the eggs and put them straight into a waiting bowl of ice water, and I'll leave them in there for 10 minutes, and that is what I have found to be the best method to both cook the eggs and to make them easy to peel afterwards. So, I've got my 6 hard-boiled eggs here, 8 ounces of small pasta of some sort. So, I've got a box of cavatappi. It's not the smallest pasta shape, but it is my favorite. You could use small elbows, you could use small penne, you could use ditalini. Any small pasta will work. I'm of course using the Banza brand because we eat gluten and dairy free around here, and this is the pasta, the gluten-free pasta that I've found to have the best texture and the best flavor. Bonus, it's got a lot of protein and fiber in it. So, not sponsored, I wish. Banza, hit me up. But this is my favorite pasta, period. We're going to use 3/4 cup of mayonnaise. I'm using the Primal Kitchen brand because it's soy-free. We also try to eat soy-free around here when we can manage it. So, 3/4 cup of this. 1.5 tablespoons of Dijon mustard. 1 teaspoon of white vinegar. Don't let this entire jug throw you off. I'm literally just using 1 teaspoon of this. If you don't have vinegar or if you'd rather not use it, you could also use lemon juice. 1 clove of garlic, finely minced or crushed to paste. 1/2 teaspoon of salt. You can adjust that to taste more or less depending on what you want. 1/4 teaspoon of paprika. 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. I can't find my cayenne pepper anywhere, so I'm just going to use a dash of hot sauce. 2 tablespoons of red onion, finely chopped. I've got the pre-chopped kind here because anytime that I can take a shortcut and not have to cut onions especially, I'm going to take it. And lastly, 2 tablespoons of green onion, chopped. Optionally, you could also add in 1/4 cup of cooked and crumbled bacon to this, but that's not really my vibe for deviled eggs or for pasta salad, so I'm choosing to leave that out. So first things first, I'm going to boil my entire box of pasta, because remember you need 8 ounces of pasta, and that's actually what this brings. I'm going to boil my entire box of pasta according to the package directions. You follow the directions on whatever you're using. I'm going to make sure to generously salt the water first to make sure that the pasta gets a chance to take on some flavor of its own. And while the pasta is cooking, I'm going to peel and separate my eggs. I want the whites in one area and the yolks somewhere else. Alright, pallies, I've got my egg whites separated here, and I've kind of given them a bit of a rough chop because we are going to end up incorporating this into our salad at the end. As for our yolks, I went ahead and put them into this smaller bowl so that I can kind of crush them up. I'm just going to give them a mash the same way I personally would if I were making deviled eggs. Some people are sticklers. They want their deviled egg mixture super, super smooth. I am not quite that discerning about it. As a matter of fact, the recipe that I'm following says that you should crush your yolks into a fine powder or use a wooden spoon to press them through a fine metal strainer so that they're as absolutely pulverized as possible. Me, just mashing them with a fork like this, that's going to be good enough for me. I don't see the reason to struggle any more than this. And I am not super, super picky about texture like that. So if you want yours to be finer, I've gone ahead and given you a few ideas as to how to make that happen. But for me, this is just fine. So I've got my egg yolks mushed up here. Now I'm going to put them into a very large bowl, because in this large bowl is that everything's going to end up coming together in the end. So in go my egg yolks. Truth be told, I probably could have mashed my egg yolks in this bigger bowl, but I felt like it would be easier to work with the smaller one. So now that you know what I know, go ahead and just do everything in the big bowl so you don't dirty as many things. So to this, I'm going to add my mayonnaise. Remember, that was 3/4 cup. There's nothing like a brand new jar of mayonnaise, right? Look how pretty that looks. So I've measured out 3/4 cup, and in it goes. Next will be our 1.5 tablespoons of Dijon mustard. Gotta love that sound, right? Got some mustard ASMR going for you there. So that's 1.5 tablespoons. And obviously this can all be adjusted to taste. If you have a favorite deviled egg recipe, by all means, go ahead and zhuzh up your pasta salad dressing in whichever way you see fit. As a matter of fact, on my channel, I made a video last year where I showed you multiple ways to make some extra special, extra fancy deviled eggs. So if you'd like to check that out for inspiration, I'll have it linked in the corner, and I'll also have it linked in the description box below. I'm going to go ahead and put in approximately a clove of garlic. I'm sure I did much more. Next, I'm going to do my teaspoon of vinegar. Literally just like a splash. Like that. That's fine. That's plenty. And we're going to season now with our salt. Some paprika. Can't have deviled eggs without paprika, in my opinion. And our cayenne, or in our case, our cayenne substitute. A little tiny bit of hot sauce. That'll do it. So I'm going to give all this a mix to combine. This is what's going to make up the dressing for our pasta salad, and what's going to give us all of those familiar deviled egg flavors. See, that's what it looks like in the end. So again, you could have yours be a little smoother if you want to go through that whole mission of straining your yolks, but I think this is going to be just fine. So I've got my pasta here. It's been cooling down after draining. I'm going to go ahead and plop that right in. You can see it's a little solid. That's because gluten-free pasta tends to clump up as it cools. So mine is not completely cool, because if it were, this would just be one mass and I would not be able to stir this up properly. So we've got that nicely combined. All the pasta is coated in our dressing. The next thing I want to do is put in my red onion, and that's just going to be a couple heaping tablespoons of that. My 2 tablespoons of green onion, which I am just going to slice right into my situation here. This is already washed, so don't worry. It's all good, guys. I don't know if that's quite 2 tablespoons. It might be more, it might be less, but I like a lot of green onion, so do whatever makes you happy. And lastly, we're going to come in with our chopped up egg whites. Throw that in the mix and just stir to combine. If you were going to add in your crumbled up bacon, this would be the time to do that, just at the end, and stir it all in. Alright, Pallies, there's our finished product. Now, you could serve this right away, but I'm planning to cover it and put it in the fridge so it completely cools down. That's also going to give the flavors a chance to marry. Before serving, I would sprinkle a little more paprika on top and maybe some more of those fresh green onions just for some color. But this is going to be amazing. This is going to make you 8 kind of appetizer type servings, I guess, or 4 lunchtime servings. This is a great combination of 2 potluck favorites, and I'm very excited for you and yours to try it. Alright friends, that's going to do it for my deviled egg pasta salad. It was so delicious. I actually portioned it out and had it for lunch for the next few days since it was just me eating it this time around. But I guarantee if you bring this to a gathering, there will not be any leftovers. I'd love to know 2 things. I want to know, when you go to an Easter gathering or any sort of springtime gathering, what are you most looking forward to eating? And also, what can you be counted on to bring? What's like your thing that everyone knows that you're going to definitely be bringing this year? Let me know in the comments, and as always, I want to thank you all so much for being here and watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, I hope you'll please give it a big thumbs up. I'd also love it if you would subscribe and click the notification bell because I post at least 3 times a week and I wouldn't want you to miss a minute. Thanks so much again for watching. Bye!